Welcome everyone to the first Wednesday training call of 2020. My name is Lynn Schuessler-Williams. I'm a speaker, coach, and author out of Louisville, Kentucky. It's my great pleasure to be your host tonight for our first training call of the new decade. We start every call with Success Partners with our signature message. It's so important because each and every one of us can say, I am a part of a growing team of entrepreneurs with a shared mission to protect and empower 2 million families and small businesses with LegalShield's network of law firms and world-class identity theft services. What we do matters, and we are looking for help. And, tonight is that first call of the decade, folks. This is, no matter what you look back at 2019 and think about your business, this is fresh time. This is fresh start. This is start over. This is ramp up. This is carry new energy and new momentum into your year. And that's all as easy as your mindset makes it, right? The last week or so, I had a picture on my Facebook cover that said, it had a big, beautiful tiger, and it said, your only limit is you. And that's the truth. As we walk into this new decade, we can create whatever we want. We can create a success like we've never thought possible before, but we have to think it's possible now. And there's so many great tips for how to do that and so many great ways to think about it. And to kick us off for the new year, the new decade, I get to turn the call over to a man who inspires me each and every day. His success inspires me. He's a great trainer, a great coach, and someone I appreciate so much and love to call friend, Mr. Timmer Halligan. Take it away.
Well, thank you so much, Lynn. Truly, truly appreciate you. And, as Lynn was just talking about, it's a new decade. It's interesting as I look back over the last decade, it's really when I started to take this business more seriously. And I was just thinking, about this call that John Drennan made to me, and it was about 10 years ago. And he said, this phone call is long overdue. And Mr. Drennan is definitely in our thoughts and our prayers right now. I did talk to him the other day, and he's feeling great. He's on an incredible journey to get himself healthier than he's ever been before. And he said he's reached that status and continuing to take it to the next level of being healthy. And so continue to send thoughts and prayers his way, all good thoughts. He was telling me just the other day, he's like, I can feel the vibes of people's positive energy coming towards me daily. And so we want to continue to think about him. And I know he was on one of our calls yesterday, and he's just feeling great. So we want to continue to send good words, good thoughts his way, just like we want to do for everybody who's on this call tonight, this first call of 2020. It's interesting as I look back. I thought by 2020 that we'd probably be in flying cars right now, and we'd be like the Jetsons, and I'd press a button and food would just pop up for me. But we still drive cars. Our wheels are still on the ground. Life is what life is. And so much has changed in this last decade, in so many different ways. Our company has developed in so many ways over the last decade. You think about some of the things that have occurred. We've got, the acquisition by MidOcean Partners that came, about 7 or so years ago, 2011. Wow, 9 years ago, MidOcean Partners acquired LegalShield and spent $651 million for our company. And then, we had Mr. Rip Mason come in and really ramp up the quality of what we do, really focus on the finer things that we have the opportunity to be part of. And then we've got Mr. Jeff Bell, who's come on board as our CEO several years ago and has really turned our ship, brought so much technology our way, so much vision for where we're going, so much quality to the way our services are presented, focusing on, our net promoter score. Who would have thought we'd be focusing on our net promoter score and the quality of what it is that we do? And, Mr. Don Thompson now at the helm of our networking division, a man who comes from the field, who's such a smart individual, which, helps to develop alongside the Platinum Council. You know, we're all part of Mr. John Hoffman and Darcy Hoffman's organization. You know, we've seen them go from $500,000 to $600,000 to $700,000 to $800,000 a year with this company. And, you know, some of us have been with the company 10 years. Some of us have, you know, been with the company 10 months. Some of us joined yesterday, you know. So welcome to everybody who's on tonight's Kickoff 2020 call. And I am excited, you know, to be able to come to you guys from my office. You know, a lot of things have happened for me in the last month or so. You know, I've moved to Raleigh, North Carolina, excited for this marketplace here, excited for the kickoff event that we've got with Mr. Jeff Bell, which is going to be coming up here in about a week or so. And just really, really pumped up to be able to take this year and build it and kick it off with incredible, incredible momentum. And so we're going to get right into tonight because it's an exciting night. Why? Because we are in a brand new decade. We are in a brand new year. We do have the opportunity, and, you know, Lynn talked about it at the very, very beginning. You know, we should reflect upon, you know, what's been happening in our lives. I mean, that is important. You know, I always talk about those principles of reflecting, then releasing, and then visualizing what it is that you want to get done, you know, in life. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about reflect for just a second. You know, go ahead and take a look at your 2019. That's the most recent year, obviously, and ask yourself these questions. Did I get accomplished what I wanted to get accomplished? Did I get the things done that I said I was going to get done when the new year kicked off? Did I reach the levels in my business that I know that I am capable of being able to reach? Did I do the necessary activities to get to where I know I deserve to be? We talk about it all the time. In fact, you know, Annette Zobar, when she talked a couple weeks ago on one of our team calls, she said she just had one of those moments where she looked at herself and said, you know what? I got to do a lot more. You know, it's time to get focused. It's time to get to the level of where my skills are, because I believe that our skills that we have, the knowledge that we have, and I'm saying this collectively to each and every person, far outweigh the levels of success. And we're going to help break down that barrier tonight. We're going to talk a little bit more because it's now time to hit the refresh button. You know, you hit that refresh button, you know, whenever you're trying to get your computer to get back up working again, whenever you're trying to, you know, get it to get to the page that you want, you hit that refresh button. So let's go ahead and refresh, because 2019 is behind us. We're now in 2020. It's time to get the new you out of the car and start to walk out there and start to experience the success that you know that you are absolutely capable of being able to get to. You know, it's interesting. My daughter, I'll just share a quick story, just came up a few minutes ago. You know, we just got back from a tournament, and, you know, quite honestly, you know, she didn't have the tournament that she wanted. So she comes upstairs and says, Dad, do you have a motivational book that I can read? And I said, well, what do you need a motivational book for? She says, I want this year to be different. I want to start out this year. I want to make this year a better year for me. And I said, well, you know, I'm getting ready to actually do this conversation with some folks on the team about that exact topic, because every single person is saying that exact same thing right now. So here's what I'll tell you. Whether you just won the Super Bowl, okay, or you experienced some defeat in your life, or you experienced defeat on the field, here's what I can tell you. Every one of these people, whether you just won the Super Bowl or you got beat, whether you said at the beginning of the year you were going to get to a place and you got there and you could hold up the trophy, or you didn't quite get there, whether you're in sports, whether you're in business, whether you're in life, they all start the next season with the same belief. Everybody says this. This is our year. This is going to be my year. This year, things are going to be different. How many times have we all, I've said it, and believe me, there are many, many things that I did not accomplish this year. I mean, there was many things that I am disappointed that I didn't put more focus into, but guess what? It's a new season. You know, you're in a new season. I'm in a new season. It's a new year. It's a new decade. That's even really cool. I mean, when you think about where you were when 2010 kicked off and the amount of knowledge that you have gained over the last 10 years, you are more equipped for success right now than ever before. It is a new opportunity for a new you. And everyone's excited about it. And rightfully so. You should be excited. I mean, as I've said many, many times, there's 2 times during the year that I really believe that people take a good look at their lives. One is their birthday. You take a look because a number changes, right? You go from 25 to 26, you go from 30 to 31, you go from 35 to 36, you go from 60 to 61, you go from 80 to 81, whatever it is. And you take a look at where you're at. You reflect upon that last year. And then whenever a new year comes, you want to take a look at, you reflect, then you hit refresh, right? It's time to start new. And then you renew your commitment to the things that you want to get done. But it really comes down to, as I was just explaining to Annabelle, I said, listen, words are easy. I want this to be a better year. I want to do more. I want to excel. I want to do these things. But are you truly committed to getting those things accomplished? And I asked her, I said, do you know the definition of commitment? And she kind of looked at me in this funny little teenager kind of way, and she kind of laughed. And I said, you know what? Commitment means staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you said it in has left you. I mean, a lot of people last night, looked in the mirror and said, this is going to be my year. And a lot of people looked in the mirror and they said, okay, I'm going to start exercising more. I'm going to start eating better. I'm going to, do better in business. I'm going to be more committed in my relationship. I'm going to become a better father. I'm going to be a better husband. I'm going to become a better son, a better daughter. I'm going to, work harder in my, if I'm an athlete on the court or off the field. I'm going to do all those things. We all talk about them, but when you really get down and think about that word commitment, and it's long after the emotion is gone, in which you're excited, in which you're fired up, you keep on doing it. And it's hard to sustain that for an entire year when you think about it in that big amount of time. But when you can break it down into smaller segments, it's one day at a time. It's like when you think about the folks that are in, AA and, they're talking about their commitment to their sobriety. It's one day at a time. They're not looking at 6 weeks from now. They're looking at today. This is the day I'm going to stay away from this. Or if you're looking to, change your diet, today's the day, where you get this craving, you want to eat the bad stuff because it tastes so darn good. That's why it's bad. They make it taste that way. So you'll keep wanting to get it. Believe me, eating some carrots and some hummus and stuff like that doesn't taste nearly as good sometimes as the ice cream cake does from Baskin and Robbins. But which one is going to help you to get to where you want to get to more effectively? Well, the answer is simple. So it's those finer things in life, those things that we really, really want. They're much more of a struggle. But let's talk about our business for a second. There's going to be thousands of LegalShield associates this year. And here's the thing. We've heard this so many different times, and it resonates with me every time. Whether I live in Maryland or California or North Carolina or Kentucky, wherever it is, they all have the same service, right? We have this legal plan, and we have this identity theft plan, and we have this small business plan, and we can offer it we can offer it to employees. I was reading today, I watched an associate today out of Maryland. The lady's got a full-time job and she wrote 394 memberships, in the last couple of days of the month, and they were group related, and she showed her commission for $13,000. She did it around her full-time job. Same things, same service. Many of us are group qualified. Did we write the amount of group plans that we wanted to? We all have the same comp plan. They don't change the comp plan. Yeah, the level you're at may allow you to get paid more, but it's the exact same comp plan. There's going to be lots and lots of associates that are going to have personal issues going on in their lives. I know you've got issues. I've got issues. Our loved ones have got health issues and challenges. We all have those same exact things. But there's one variable that we've got to own, and that is the you factor. We got to own it. You have to, and I was just, again, having this conversation with my daughter because, the earlier you can learn this in life. We were talking about the tournament this week and what she had going on, and there was a reason for this and a reason for that. But when she won the matches, when you have the victories, you own the victory. You claim every great thing that you did. But when you have the defeats, when you have the losses, you got to claim those as yours as well. Plain and simple, you have to absolutely own the things that don't go well. See, the real battle for success is you versus you. The real battle for anything that is worth any significance whatsoever in your life, it's you versus you. There's a lot of folks right now that have got their goals already written down for 2020. I can tell you there's a lot of folks right now that don't have any goals written down for 2020. Who can you blame? You can't blame the pencil. You can't blame the pad of paper. They're ready. They're sitting right here saying, please use me. Please write down some things that you'd like to get accomplished. So you can't blame anybody, but we can always look at ourselves. We too often take these external things and we talk about them like they caused us to not do some of the things that we know we are capable of. We talk about, and we talked about on a training a couple of weeks ago about, are you capable of doing more? And it really comes down to, are you willing to do more? So that real battle for success, really comes down to you taking a look at what you want. And you can't compare yourself. You can't say that you want something because somebody else has it, because that won't get you anywhere. You may say you want something because someone else has it, and you're willing to do all of the things that that person has done. See, there's one thing I'd say to parents all the time in the world of sports: don't compare your child to someone else. The success does not know what color your skin is. Success doesn't know what age you are. Success does not know what religion you are. Success doesn't know any of those things. Success is not tangible. I mean, yeah, you've got it. You could, monitor, so you could look at monetarily what you've gotten, but success, it doesn't know any of the reasons or excuses or anything else that we all have. It doesn't know those. It knows that when the right activity is done, it gives you and yields to you all that you deserve and desire. We know that to be true. See, we all must suffer from one of two pains. And this comes from, Jim Rohn, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And here's what I want for everyone in 2020 is I want you to feel some pain, but I want you to feel the pain of discipline. Regret is something that we don't want to have to worry about or think about, but it's something that's inevitable. I don't remember who said it, but the graveyard is filled with so many books that were never written, so many products that were never created, so much greatness that never came out. And on the last day of people's lives, there was way too much regret. Discipline just means that you set the stage for what it is that you want to get done. You're willing to do those things each and every day or each and every hour or whatever it may be, because the difference is discipline weighs just ounces. I mean, it doesn't weigh much. And discipline becomes habitual. It becomes habits in what we're doing, while regret weighs just tons. I mean, you feel it. and it weighs you down. And we don't want to get that feeling as we're in 2020. Discipline, as Jim Rohn says, is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. You take the piece of paper and the pencil and you write the stuff down. Then, if you're disciplined with what you do, the accomplishments, the checkoffs at the end of the day, the end of the week, the end of the month, the end of the year, the end of the decade. Oh my gosh, think just for a moment. I want you to just close your eyes and just think about what 10 years could be like from now. My dad's 81 or 82 years old. And I said to him today, I said, Dad, did you ever imagine in 1939 or 1940 when you were born, you'd be still on this earth at 2020? He's like, hell no, I didn't think I'd still be here. And dang, if he didn't shoot an 81 the other day in golf, because he just does it. He practices, he really gets out there and does the things, and he does his stretches and does his, little weights that he lifts every single day. Why? Because he wants to continue to get better at golf at 82 years old. That's what he wants to do. And I admire that skill. And you know what? So age and success and all the other factors, where you were born and what your life was growing up, for every excuse that we give, I can find you 10 people that went through that same exact scenario and found success. Success is nothing more than just a few little disciplines each and every day. So what do I recommend? What do I encourage? What do I say? What am I going to do? What do I know a lot of people have already committed to doing? Is going on a 90-day run between tomorrow and March 31st, which is going to lead us right up to our international convention in Dallas, which is going to be a few short days after that. A 90-day run is about compressing energy and compressing time. So you can do something for 90 days. You'll never see somebody say, I'm going to go on a 366-day run, which there must be 366 days. This must be a leap year, because I see everybody keep posting that about 366 days. I'm not 100% sure because I have not checked. But you cannot plan to go on a 366-day run. You can't do it. You can't sustain it. It's like trying to get a P-51 Mustang, which has got so much power and energy to fly across the Atlantic Ocean. It'll run out of gas. It can't get that far on the gas that it holds. We would not be able to do that. But I can promise you that for 90 days, you can dig in. And let me tell you this, in 90 days, these 90 days you take massive action to really build your business. When I talk massive, I'm talking more about focus and discipline. I'm not talking about the number of hours that you're doing. Those that really want to go serious, you just find the time whenever you have it and you focus. Because you already know the things that you need to do. You already know them. But knowing them is one thing and taking action another. That's why committing yourself to doing money-making activities for 90 days in a row. And I'm talking 90 days. I'm not talking about taking any days off. I'm talking about for 90 days, just for 3 months, you focus on getting done what it is that you know you are capable of. And you want to start off with a burst of energy. You think about it, and, I hear Brian Carruthers talk about it. I hear Eric Warray talk about it. I hear Darnell Self talk about it. I hear John Hoffman talk about it, and he'll understand as much as anyone as a pilot that when you take off, you've got to put the throttle down. And when you put the throttle down, it gives you enough speed and enough momentum at the end of the runway that when you lift the nose up, you can start to take off and you could start to fly. Here's what I'm encouraging folks to do. Do 5 a day. What do I mean a day? 5? I mean 5 brand new people, January 2nd through January 7th. 5 brand new people that you're going to introduce to this business, and you're going to introduce this membership over the next 5 days. Then scale back to just 2 a day, every day for the next what is it, 85 days? 2 a day. See, we can do this. See, now if you go hard, see, I look at it like you're taking off on the plane. So you put the throttle down. You go out. There's people that you've got right now. You've got business cards of people. You've got friends. You've got coworkers. You've got people in your church. You got people that are part of your Lions Club, your Kiwanis, your networking organizations, your Chamber of Commerce. You got people that you have not introduced this business to yet. I promise you. So you cannot use the excuse that you don't have probably, you think about this. So if you do 5 a day for 5 days, that's 25. And then you take 100 and then you got 85 more days. So that's what, 170. So you know 100, you have 195 people right now. I promise you that you have not talked to about LegalShield. So your goal, your mission, your drive is to get 195 people over the next 90 days to take a look at what we do. That's really not that many. You know, it's like 2 a day every day and 5 for the next 5 days. So 5 a day for 5 days, January 2nd through January 7th. Then you're up in the air. You got some momentum. It'll feel like 2 a day will feel like a cakewalk. You'll cruise along with 2 a days. It's really, really that simple. And what you want to do is be core like never before, like you've never been before. You are going to get zeroed in and focus on doing the 10 daily commitments, the 10 core commitments that we have without hesitation. You're not sure what they are? Go into LS Engage, go into the resources section and print up the 10 core commitments. I'm not going to go through them tonight. You know how to find them. You know what they are. You just got to stay as core as you possibly can. Stay core like never, ever, ever before. And don't get caught up in the BS of life during this 90-day run, because that will lead you to excuses. And I was about to just use the word BS because, I mean, we cannot let the things that don't matter, the things that aren't going to matter 90 days from now, aren't going to matter probably 9 days from now, to take up what you've got going on. You need to speak to your family. You got to say, listen, for the next 90 days, we got to quit focusing on the stuff that doesn't matter. We got to quit. I mean, heck, if people would just quit gossiping and spending time talking about politics and worry about what's going on over in the baseball world, the basketball world, the football world, and start focusing on what's important to you, focus for your why for 90 days. Whether you've got 30 minutes a day, whether you've got an hour a day. So if you got an hour a day, 90 hours of your life. Think about that, 90 hours. So let's just say, let me do some math here for my own personal. So if you were to take, there's 24 hours in a day, 90 times 24 equals 2,160. If you spent an hour a day, that's 0.04% of those 2,000 hours. That's not even 1%. But if you gave an hour a day to make 2 contacts, if you can make 2, I mean, think about it. If you did 2 hours a day, you still have not given 1% effort. 2 hours a day is 0.8. You got to go like 2.5 hours a day to count for 1% of the next 90 days hours. And let me tell you, if you put that time in, you're not going to recognize your business. You're not going to recognize the success that you're going to see. We invite, we follow up, and we repeat that process. Invite, follow up, repeat without worrying about the results. See, this is what stops 99% of the people, because you got to know. Somebody said no. Somebody didn't call you back. You got pulled aside because you got distracted. No, focus, 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 focus. Invite, follow up, repeat. Do it daily, invite, follow up, repeat. That's it. It's really that simple. It can't be that easy. That's what you're telling me. I promise you. I remember when I went to the convention back in 2009 and Steve Melia was up on stage and he was talking about going on a 90-day run. And I remember my wife was with me and I looked over at her and I said, it can't be that easy. You know, just going out and making 2 contacts a day every single day and just, doing that. And the time was right for me. And she said, well, why don't you prove them wrong? He makes $500,000 a year and you're making about 50 with LegalShield. So if he says at $500,000 a year that it's that simple, who are you at $50,000 a year to say it's not? So she said, why don't you prove him wrong? And I did it. I didn't prove him wrong. I proved him right by just doing 2 a day every day. Focusing on making sure I get that done every single day. Following up, inviting, following up, inviting, repeating it over and over and over again. So I pose that same question to you. It can't be that easy. Then prove it wrong. Take the time, that 1%, right? Because we know there's 1% of, as we just talked about, of that time that folks are going to have. If you were to give 1 hour a day, that's 0.4%. If you were to give yourself over the next 90 days, 2 hours a day, that's still not even 1% of the 2,160 hours. And don't play the BS game with yourself. I'm saying this with the most sincerity that I possibly can. Do not play the game of BS with yourself. Don't believe the own reasons or your own thoughts or your own everything. We are going to ramp up the Zoom presentations. The company is going to ramp up what they're going to be doing. In fact, I was just reading what Don Thompson came out with to be a big announcement on Friday, January 3rd. Basically he's talking about the 2-a-day challenge to kick off 2020. Here's the thing about the 2-a-day challenge. And I'll tell you, I haven't been doing it, but I've been following the people that have, and the results they've been getting are tremendous. 2 a day, every day, into Prospect by LegalShield. 2 brand new people that say yes and start receiving your stuff. Prove them wrong. I am committed to 2 a day, every single day, getting into Prospect by LegalShield. I'm going to prove to myself the power of Prospect by LegalShield because people are experiencing tremendous success. So folks, we've already reflected 2019 is behind us. 2020 is right here upon us. January 2nd, 90-day run, ramp it up, 5 a day, January 2nd through the 7th of brand new people. We'll be focusing on it on the morning stretch calls, talking about it on the morning stretch calls, doing Facebook live videos, putting together more Zoom presentations from our team to get people here. The company is putting together them all the time. My God, there's not a shortage of what the company puts out for us. The only shortage is of us personally inviting, because people are inviting. People are inviting. So I appreciate you guys coming on tonight. I'm going to throw it back to Miss Lynn Schuessler-Williams for any closing comments tonight. Let's take 2020 by storm. Lynn, I'll take it over to you.
Thank you so much. I'm so fired up. I have like so many notes. It is so awesome. What a fantastic, motivating, exciting way to start the year. And I'm in, Tamara. Let's do this 90-day run. I know you're right. If I do 5 a day for 5 days and 2 new people a day for the rest of the 90, I will not recognize my business. And it is going to be such a great thing. And so a couple of things you said that I want to just highlight. You know, Timmer was talking about success is a series of small disciplines, simple disciplines that you do every day. So we do that already in our businesses. Each and every person on this call has the simple disciplines of showing up to the Sunday night call and showing up to the Wednesday night call. Those are simple disciplines that you do every week. And, you know, I remember when Timmer said, sometimes it's hard to keep those sustained for a whole year. You know, that's why it's a 90-day run, not a 366-day run, right? But we sustain simple disciplines all the time. It is just a choice. It is an absolute choice on our part that we're going to get that done. So having that choice, and it's all about focus and discipline, I wrote down. I just love that, because it doesn't mean you have to be full-time. It's if you have the 1 hour day, then be focused and disciplined during your 1 hour a day. That is so powerful. And then I love that idea of you got to put the throttle down to take off the runway, right? You got to do that. And so this is just a roadmap. It's the simplest, clearest, most amazingly focused roadmap I've ever seen, Timmer. What, you know, focus on your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to do it? Why would you want success at the end of 90 days? So focus on our why. You know, I'm just so fired up, and just, aren't we all just grateful that we're on a team that brings us this? Like, this was awesome. And so I'm so fired up to see who goes on this 90-day run with us, to see what all the results are, and the journey. Y'all, it's about the journey, right? It is not always about the end game. It is about who you become in the process, right? And about just having the attitude that gets you there. And so let's go do it. I'm going to unmute the lines. I'm going to turn our recording off and say goodnight, and then everybody can